Hello everybody, this is Namanjan coming right at you with a new tutorial. First of all, Happy New Year. Hope you had a great party yesterday. I did. And let's get right into it. So last tutorial, we were able to move as usual and drag over the enemy and press spacebar and take out his health, as you can see over here, and it's gonna die and destroy itself. Okay, so for now we're gonna take us actually first go to our enemy script by going to enemy and clicking the script, mob script, whatever you named it, and take off the debug log because we don't need it for now. And we're gonna make a attack method, void attack. Okay, and so first, when are we gonna attack our opponent? And when I mean by opponent, I'm saying it from the enemy's perspective. So for the whole tutorial, we're gonna be the enemy, and the player itself is gonna be our opponent because we are scripting the mob script now. So when do we want to attack our opponent? So we're basically here. We can see when we're not in range, we're gonna chase. Else, we're gonna actually take this idle animation and say attack. I'll explain you again. So basically, if you're not in range, we're gonna chase, or else we're gonna attack. So this else basically means that we are in range. It's the same thing as saying else if in range. It's the exact same thing. So we're gonna attack, and so in our attack, first we're gonna make a public animation clip. Animation clip. There we go. And then we're gonna say animation clip. By the way, I just named this differently from the other animations because we already have attack method, and I cannot have a public. Oh, sorry. Let's name it attack clip. Attack clip. The reason I'm not just naming it attack because we already have a method named attack. Attack clip.name. Sorry, I'm very bad. I can't code very well now, but it doesn't matter. So let's see this in action. So when we're in our attack method, we only play the animation, and it gives us oh damn it. Sorry, we're gonna say animation.play attack clip.name. And we're going to go to our mob scripts, and we did make this public there, over there, and then we're just going to drag our attack to our attack clip, and we can play and see what it does, and it's just going to come to us and just attack when it's in range. And once we get out of range, it's going to follow us, and once it comes back, it's going to attack us. So that's the simple part. Now what we need to do is we need to make it reduce our health, and it's going to be literally the same logic as we made over here. So basically we're going to have an impact time of when we want the mob to hit the player, like similar to the one in our fighter script. So first we're going to have a public float impact or double impact time. Float or double doesn't matter. Impact time. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our Unity and then go to attack and go to the preview over here and exactly see when we want it, which is just at 38, I would say. Yeah, 38. So 38%, or let's say actually 36%. So 0.36, around close to that, doesn't really change a lot. Your eyes can actually catch it. This is literally the same thing we were doing as last time. I'm just repeating this so it gets into your head. So yeah. Okay, so now we got that. We're gonna go over to our attack and say if our attack clip sorry, you have to say animation, and then square brackets to get the animation state, the same thing, tag clip dot length. So this is basically, sorry, time, not the length. So this is basically getting the time of our animation at what time it is playing at, is less than 30. So basically we said 36, right? So it has to be less than 36 percent. Sorry, more than, if it has exceeded our impact time, and then we're gonna impact. So if it has exceeded our impact time, which is animation clip dot length. I'm not explaining this as brief because we have already done it last tutorial. If you have not seen my last tutorial, I highly recommend it. Times impact time. No, we don't need one more. And there we go. And what we're gonna have is we're gonna have an impacted variable to check if you have already impacted. So you're gonna say private bool impacted. So if you have impacted already, we don't need to go through the statement again because we have already done it once. Impacted is equal to true. And here we're gonna say and impacted has not impacted. So just have exclamation mark. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically have go over here and we're gonna say public transform, or we're gonna say just fighter. So I'll just explain this player, or actually we can make this private. So this is basically sorry. So we're gonna have a private fighter opponent. So this basically means that we're having a copy of the fighter script and we named it opponent. So that's not very hard. And we're gonna say opponent. So the script fighter is equal to, we're gonna get the transform player. So our player dot get component, and we're gonna get the fighter component from the player. So it's basically, this line is basically saying that I have a copy of the fighter script and it's going to the player transform, and we'll deal with those, and it is gonna get the fighter script from the player transform. And let's see what's what does it say? Sorry, this has to be attack clip dot name, attack clip dot name. Okay, so that's what it's basically saying. So now we have a copy of the fighter script. And so here we're gonna say, first we're gonna have, sorry, I'm just going back and forth. We're gonna have, I don't know why it says private, to be honest. Public, because we need to set, we're gonna actually set our health in the Unity inspector because that's easier. And where does our health show up? It doesn't show up. Sorry. Sorry, this is our fighter. And sorry. And this is gonna be 100 because I just made it public so we can edit it from our inspector, which is much easier. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, sorry, it's gonna make public int damage. Sorry, I'm just getting a little confused today. So this is the damage that the mob is going to do to the player. And then we're gonna go over here, back and set this to 25. Just or let's make it more than the player so we can actually die before we kill. And let's make this 400. For now we're making the mob stronger just for testing purposes. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our attack script and we're gonna say opponent dot so we're gonna say get hits. So, but the problem is now in our fighter we don't have a get hit method, so we cannot actually hit the fighter. I mean fighter in the sense fighter is the player. The script is named fighter, but the fighter is the player. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a get hit method. So we're just gonna have a public bool get hit, similar to the one we had in the mob, and we're gonna say int damage. So this is basically saying fighter player get hit by this much damage. So we're passing in the damage we're gonna do. We're gonna get the health of our player, which we still don't have actually, so we're gonna create a health variable over here saying int health. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say health minus health is equals to health minus damage, and if health is less than 0, and if indenting will not be annoying, sorry about that, health is equal to 0. So this is basically saying if our health goes negative, you're just going to make our health 0. This does not matter a lot, but I just like to have it. And we're going to go back to our Unity, set our health bar in our player, and before that let's sorry, this is meant to be void. I don't know why did I put in a bool. And we're gonna go over here back, and we're gonna have our health set to be, let's say 100 for now. So for now it'll be very easy for our mob to kill our player because it has only 100 health. And now we're gonna go back. So I'll explain this again because I went through it really fast. We created a health variable, and we created a get hit variable, and this get hit variable takes a parameter damage. So basically it's gonna reduce our health by that much damage, and if it is below 0, it's gonna set it to 0. So now we have a get hit method which functions, which works. We're gonna say get hit, so now it shows up opponent that get hit by our damage. So this is the damage we're gonna send. It's damage it can do, and hopefully this works. And let's try. And yes, we will actually debug our player's health to check if it is working. We're gonna go to our update, and in the first line I'm gonna say debug.log health. So now we can actually, and remember to take out the debug in your update of your mob, or else there will be 2 debugs. And just to make sure, you can just put in player, so you just know this is the player's health. And it does not reduce, and let's see why. So we're in range. Sorry, we actually don't call the attack method at all. So now we are actually calling the attack method. And let's see. It's 160. And as you can see, it does not reduce from 60. Let's see why. Okay, so the reason it's not working is because impacted always stays true. And when impacted is true, it's never going to go through this line of statement, because it's going to say, well, we have already impacted over here, so we don't need to go through this because it says not impacted. So for this, what we're going to do is we have to set impacted to true when the animation is ending, so that when there's a new animation coming, impacted is false, and it can go through this statement again. Exactly the same concept as over here. As you can see, we made impacted is equal to false when our animation is ending. So 0.9 when it has exceeded 90% of our attack. Now we cannot say exactly when it is ended because it's never going to end. So we're going to go over here and say if attack, if animation, square bracket attack clip dot name has exceeded, sorry, I just had a high pitched voice, has exceeded 0.9 to 90% or you can have 95. I just like to have 90. Tag clip dot name dot length, and this is supposed to be dot time. So basically, if you're about to finish our animation, we're gonna say impacted is equal to false, and we have to go back over here and not allow this to go through this code when we're ending our animation, because impacted is gonna be false again, and it'll be able to go through this line, these lines of code again. So here we're gonna have to say and attack animation tag clip dot name is less than dot time is less than 90% of the length. So I'll just explain this again just for my satisfaction that you guys understand. So basically, we're going to say if you're ending the animation, so if our time has exceeded 90% of our animation, we're going to say impacted false. But here we need another check saying that if our animation is ending, so if it is above 90%, we don't want to go through this code, because we're ending our animation and we have done with our impact, and we don't want to impact anymore because we have already so that is it. And let's see if this works. Hopefully it works. Okay. 160, 20, and as you can see, our mob is successfully decreasing our health. So now we need die methods. Now, in our previous tutorial, we actually destroyed our opponent. So in our mob script, when we say die method, we just say if our animation has exceeded 90%, we're just going to destroy our object. But we don't want that in our case. We don't want to destroy ourselves. We just want to revive ourselves, or depends on the game what you want to do. So in this case, we're not going to destroy ourselves, but we're just going to indicate that we're dead, and we're going to do something when we're dead. I will just explain in a moment. So we're going to have a void die methods. I'll just place it down because I like to place die down. It's very grim. And hopefully we don't die, but we're gonna say first, sorry, I'm just getting a little confused. So first we're gonna have public animation clip die clip. The reason I'm not naming it die is because we already have a die method over here, so you can't name it the same. You're gonna say if you're dead, we're gonna play if is dead. So I think we first we need a method to check if you're dead or not before we make the die method. So we're gonna name this public bool. So it's gonna return a boolean if is dead. Sorry, after I continue and progress with my videos, I will be explaining less of what I've already explained, and it's basically gonna say if our health is less than or equal to 0. You can just say equal to also, depending if you did this statement, because if it is less than 0, it's always going to be equal to 0 if it's dead, if no matter what. So if health is equal to 0, you're gonna return true. So if we are dead, it's always good to put in comments so that you understand your code later on. If dead, returns true, or else returns false. And it's the exact same thing we're doing. Oh, damn it. Exact same thing we're gonna do over here. Turn false. And here we're gonna say if is dead. So basically you're checking if our health is equal to 0 or not, but just in a different method. This is just good coding practice to have specific methods for specific functionality. So we have a specific functionality for checking if dead, a specific functionality to check if you're in range, and specific functionality to get hit, and so on. I'm just also trying to incorporate good coding practice. So if is dead, we're gonna play the animation dot play die clip dot name. So let's check if this works. No, and sorry, I forgot again that I actually didn't call the method from here. So basically, when do we want to call the methods? Is actually every time, because the method is gonna check. So we're gonna go to our impact and just say die. So basically every time we go, we're gonna go to the die method, and every frame it's gonna check if you're dead or not. So you can just place it in the end of your update method or in the start, doesn't really matter. Or it might, I don't know. Just put it at the end. And yes, sorry, I forgot to assign die clip over here, and you're gonna go to our skeleton pack and drag the die animation, and as you can see, we actually died, but it's gonna loop as last time it did. So this time it's gonna be a little bit more complicated, but because we're not gonna destroy it. Okay, so now we're gonna make it in such a way that we just die but not destroy our object. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a boolean called started. So this is basically gonna check if we have started our die animation, and we're gonna have another bool called ended. So this is gonna be basically checking if we have ended our die animation. So basically we're gonna go here and say in our isDead if statement, inside it we're gonna say if we have not started our die animation, we will play our die animation. So if you have not started, we're just gonna start, and then we're gonna say yes, we have started playing our die animation. There we go. And then we're gonna have a else. No, sorry, not else. And then we're gonna have a if we have started. So just checking if you have started and you're not playing. Sorry, animation with a small a. That is playing. Sorry, I don't remember which one. Sorry, yeah, with a capital I is playing die clip. And we're gonna say is not playing die clip. There we go. So basically, I'll explain you now that if we have started our animation but it's not playing anymore, so that's basically meaning that we have ended our animation. Note that we cannot do the same thing over here because it actually never comes to end, but it loops. But here it actually comes to end and then starts again. Don't ask why. So if that happens, we're gonna say we're gonna do whatever you want to do, I'll add this in the end. I might say maybe for now we're gonna say debug.log for now we're just gonna log that. We will have GUI in our people are asking about GUI in our game. Yes, we're gonna have GUI, don't worry. But now for now we're gonna debug.log. You have died. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say ended is equal to true. Okay, and basically we're gonna have another if statement over here saying and has not ended. So this is basically saying if you have not died and if you have not finished our and we have not ended our dying. So if you have not ended dying yet, and we're gonna end up dying after we have finished the animation clip. And let's hope this works. We have errors as always, and it doesn't like this for some reason. Really? Sorry, it's a name. Sorry, .name. This has to be a string. And it's gonna compile. It's gonna play, and we're gonna not see ourselves die. And I exactly know why. It actually goes through this, but what happens is it starts the die animation, but what happens is when you go to a click to move, it's gonna come back over here, animation.crossfade, because it is always playing the idle animation no matter what. So it's gonna say, okay, we're gonna start to play the die animation, but the next frame, when it comes to the next frame, it's gonna come back over here, .crossfade idle animation. So what we have to do is similar to what we did with our attack animation. We have to prioritize our attack animation over the idle animation. The same thing over here. So last time, some sessions before, I don't remember which one, we had a click to move that attack is equal to true over here. So basically we had a variable over here saying bool attack, and we have said if you're not attacking, only then we're gonna do our move and locate. So basically you're saying if the player's attacking, make the boolean true, and if the boolean is true, we will not be able to do any of the click to move functions. So basically similar to that, we're gonna have a public static bool die. So basically you're gonna say, and if you're not attacking and if you're not dying, only then we can do this all functionality of click to move. And we're gonna say over here that we're dying, so die is equal to true. And then here we're gonna say, for now we're gonna just leave it because we want to remain dead just for now. Sorry, we have to because it's a static method in click to move. You can go to click to move. That's die. So static basically means we can access the variable even though we don't have a copy. For example, of the script. For example, in our mob, to access the get hit method over here, in our attack method over here, to access the get hit method, we actually needed a copy of the opponent. But if we make the static, we will not need a copy. So we're gonna just save it. Sorry, over here, we're just gonna save this. Go to here. And we're gonna play, and hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I have more work to do. And there it works. And it says you have died. So there we go. And then now what you could do is, once you have died, you can do whatever you want to over here. You can say you want to revive yourself, you can say health is equal to 100 again. So this block of code basically means you do whatever you want to do when you're dead. So I want to revive myself, so my health is 100 again. And also remember, sorry, damn it, that essential to do nothing. Never mind. Let's play. Dies. It prompts you that you have died, and it doesn't do anything. I need to check this. So basically the reason we don't revive ourselves is because first we need to make started is equal to false, because that is just to make sure that we have reset our started variable so we can die again. And then we're gonna say click to move dot die is equal to false, because now we're saying that we are not dying anymore and we're alive again. This is what I want to do in my case, but you can do whatever you want to do in your case. You can maybe get a scoreboard, or I don't know. So 160 20 0, it's gonna die and it's gonna revive ourselves. But now you can see that even though we die, the opponent is still attacking our player while we're dead, which is kind of weird. Okay, so so we're gonna handle that in the next tutorial, as we have gone way out of time. And let's just say it's my Christmas or New Year gift to you for having such a long tutorial. So if you liked my video, please like, comment, favorite, subscribe, I don't know, do whatever. No, you actually need to do them. No, just kidding. But have a good day. Bye bye.